Ever wondered how professional chefs dice onions so quickly and evenly? Well, wonder no more. The secret is all in the knife, a sharp knife to be precise. It's not only essential for precision, but it's also a safety measure. A dull knife can slip, leading to cuts and injuries. Now, let's talk technique. First, how you hold the onion is key. You want to make horizontal and vertical cuts, but not all the way through. Imagine the onion is a globe and your knife is carving latitude and longitude lines. Keep the north and south poles intact and you've got it. Now for the final act, the downward cuts. This is where you'll see the dicing magic happen. Each slice releases a cascade of perfectly cubed onion pieces. It's an art really, and like any art, it takes practice. But don't worry, with a bit of practice, you'll be dicing onions like a pro in no time. What's the secret to a perfectly poached egg? It's not as hard as you might think. To start, you'll need a pan filled with water. Make sure it's deep enough for the egg to be fully submerged. Place this on your stove and turn up the heat. You're aiming for a gentle simmer, not a rolling boil. This is crucial as you don't want your egg to be tossed around and broken apart. The aim is to achieve a calm, bubbling hot tub for your egg, not a wild, egg-cracking whirlpool. Next, add a touch of vinegar to the water. You might ask, why vinegar? The answer is simple. The acidity of the vinegar assists in coagulating the egg white, helping it to form a neat package around the yolk. You won't need much, a tablespoon or two will do. And don't worry about the taste. A small amount of vinegar won't interfere with the flavor of your egg. Now comes the fun part. With a spoon, create a gentle whirlpool in the center of your pan. This doesn't need to be a furious vortex, just a gentle swirl will do. This whirlpool will help to wrap the egg white around the yolk as it cooks, giving your poached egg its classic neat appearance. Then, it's time to introduce your egg to its warm bath. Crack your egg into a small bowl or cup first. This will make it easier to slide it gently into the water. Lower the vessel as close to the water as you can, then carefully slide the egg into the whirlpool. The next step is all about timing. If you want a runny yolk, 3 minutes should do it. If you prefer a more set yolk, aim for 4 to 5 minutes. Use a slotted spoon to lift the egg out of the water and gently touch the yolk to test its firmness. If it feels right, gently lift it onto a paper towel to drain. Remember, practice makes perfect. Don't be disheartened if your first few attempts don't go as planned. Roux, a simple mixture of fat and flour, but the backbone of many great sauces and dishes. Now let's dive into the heart of this culinary marvel. The beauty of roux lies in its simplicity, but don't let that fool you. The magic happens in the ratio and the cooking process. The golden rule here is equal parts of fat and flour. That's your starting point. You can use butter, oil, or any fat that suits your dish and combine it with plain flour. The idea is to cook out the roux, meaning we're cooking the flour to eliminate any raw flour taste. Now, here's the thing about roux. It's not just one entity, it has stages, each with its own character and purpose. We have the white, the blonde, and the brown roux. The white roux is the youngest of the lot. It's cooked just until it starts to bubble and froth, about 2 minutes in. It's mostly used in white sauces like bechamel, where you want the sauce to remain, well, white. The blonde roux, as the name suggests, is cooked a bit longer, until it takes on a light golden hue. This is your middle ground, a balance between the raw flour taste and the nutty flavor that comes with further cooking. It's great for velouté or cream soups. Then we have the brown roux. This is your roux with an attitude. It's cooked for an extended period, around 15 to 20 minutes, until it becomes a rich, deep brown. The flavor intensifies, becoming nutty and robust. This is the base for those hearty dishes and dark sauces, like gumbo or gravy. But remember, with roux, patience is key. It's a slow and steady process, but the end result is worth every stir. Mastering the roux can take your cooking to the next level, opening the door to a multitude of sauces and dishes. So, be brave, experiment with your roux, and let it be the secret weapon in your culinary arsenal. A perfectly seared steak, a thing of beauty, isn't it? Want to know how to achieve it every time? The key lies in 3 simple yet crucial steps. First, pat your steak dry. Moisture is the mortal enemy of a good sear, creating steam instead of that desirable caramelized crust. So give your steak a good pat down with a paper towel before you start. Next, season it well. A generous sprinkle of salt and freshly ground black pepper is all you need. This not only adds flavor, but also helps to create that scrumptious crust we're after. Now let's talk about the pan. It needs to be hot, really hot. And the right amount of oil is crucial. Too little, and your steak will stick. Too much, and you're deep frying. Finally, lay your steak in the pan and leave it be. Resist the urge to move it around. Wait for the magic to happen, then flip it once and only once. A perfectly seared steak never fails to impress. It's a skill well worth mastering. So, we've covered some basic cooking skills today, haven't we? We began with the art of dicing, a technique that requires precision, sharp knives, and a bit of patience. We then moved on to poaching eggs, a skill that can transform a simple egg into a creamy, dreamy delight. Next, we explored the world of roux, that simple yet transformative mix of flour and fat that serves as the backbone of many a sauce and soup. We learned that the secret lies in the slow and steady stirring, the careful control of heat. And finally, we delved into the art of searing a steak, a technique that locks in flavor and creates a mouth-watering crust. We discovered that the key here is a hot pan, a well-seasoned steak, and confidence. Remember, cooking is an art, but it's also a science. Understanding these techniques can greatly enhance your culinary skills. Happy cooking!